Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky steps up to the national stage as Governor Beshear could become the next vice president nominee. And Senator Vance begins his campaign with former President Trump taking shots at the opposing party.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We're coming up on 5 a.m. this Tuesday morning, and yesterday I was complaining with Tim some about the rain, but it didn't end up being so bad. So let's check in with meteorologist Tim Jawbridge for a look at your forecast today.
Not the rain, it's the fog this morning, Madison. 68 outside our door here at WYMT, and yes, the visibility not only low here in Perry County, but other locations as well as you make your way across eastern and southern Kentucky. So take the pedal off the metal no matter where your destination takes you this morning. It is 70 at Jackson, 70 at Moorhead, 66 in Middlesboro to 68 at Somerset. It's also 68. Hello, over to you at Grundy. The pinpoint Doppler radar across eastern and southern Kentucky is dry. As you cross the state line toward La Follette, a couple of showers down your way. And there was a few showers about an hour and a half ago over toward Kingsport in the 81 corridor in Virginia. But for the most part, everything has departed and all eyes focus now on this next slug of moisture. This is time to come through as we head through the afternoon. So we'll deal with the fog this morning. That'll burn off. Breaks of sunshine, scattered showers and thunder showers as we head through the second half of the day. And with the little sunshine, we get up to the lower 80s for an afternoon high. Many changes in the 7-day forecast. We'll let you know as we head through this 5 o'clock hour. Madison?
All right, Tim, thank you. It is the latest twist in this year's election. President Joe Biden has bowed out of the presidential race. Now the Democratic Party is looking for new candidates to fill out their side of the ballot. One of those names, Governor Andy Beshear. Beshear says he supports Kamala Harris for president. But some people point out Beshear has not had to take a stance on a lot of controversial national discussions, like the conflict between Israel and Palestine.
Because the goalposts of the Kentucky abortion debate are on the right, because we have this near total abortion ban, he's able to just say, I don't support this near total abortion ban, instead of having to constantly litigate where exactly he is on that specific issue.
Kentucky is also not a swing state, so it may not be as appealing to the Democratic Party. And while Governor Beshear's name continues to float around for the potential vice president nominee, you might also be wondering what is next if Governor Beshear is picked as the running mate. I was able to speak with Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams about the protocols in place.
We've been asked a lot the last 24 hours is what happens to Joe Biden? Is he on the ballot? Do we have to print new ballots, etc.?
Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams says the ballots for the Commonwealth will not be printed until they are certified following both conventions.
Joe Biden was never the nominee of the Democratic Party in 2024 for president. He was the presumptive nominee, and there's a big difference between being presumed and being nominated.
If Kamala Harris earns the Democratic Party's nomination, she will need a running mate. And Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is on a short list of potentials.
The first step would be to get on the ballot as the choice of the Democratic Party for vice president.
Many Kentuckians may wonder, what if the hypothetical Harris-Beshear ticket wins the 2024 presidential election?
If he is elected to the vice presidency, then under our Constitution, that would be deemed an incompatible office, and he would not be able to serve in both simultaneously.
Adams says Beshear would need to resign as governor, and Lieutenant Governor Coleman would assume the powers of governor while keeping her title.
Our state constitution's a little bit messy. It was written in 1891, and it's been amended piecemeal since then. My interpretation of the Constitution is there would not be a special election for governor, that the lieutenant governor would serve the remainder of the term.
And because of the unclear procedures in the state's constitution, Adams believes there would be litigation from both sides of the aisle. Governor Andy Beshear also spoke on MSNBC's Morning Joe yesterday morning, where he endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. And when asked about being Harris's running mate, he said, quote, "Let me first say I love my job. I love serving the people of Kentucky. The only way I would consider something other than this current job is if I believed I could further help my people and to help this country," end quote. A Lexington man claims he was once a classmate of Vice President Kamala Harris at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Prior to when he got married back in 1984, Jim Coleman met Harris during a campaign speech. Coleman was running for student council president. He needed help getting the word out to the entire women's dorm about voting for him since he could not go in there. Coleman says a curly-haired young lady volunteered, passing out 50 flyers.
And I said, "Well, what's your name?" She said, "Kamala." And she laughed again. And she helped me to hand all these flyers out and participated, knocked on doors for me, and I won by 16 votes.
Coleman believes that moment inspired Harris to enter politics. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance hosted his first solo campaign event 1 week after being tapped as former President Trump's running mate. Vance took center stage in his hometown of Middletown in the key battleground state of Ohio. The Republican senator took aim at Vice President Harris following this weekend's Democratic shakeup.
I was told I was going to get to debate Kamala Harris, and now President Trump's going to get to debate her. I will fight every single day to restore an America that works for Americans.
Senator Vance once again reiterated before supporters that he would never forget where he came from. He also is speaking Monday at a second rally in Radford, Virginia. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Still to come, it might be the middle of summer, but toy makers are already preparing for a busy holiday season.
No. The holiday decorations with Halloween were already out by the end of 4th of July. Anyhow, Eastern and Southern Kentucky, we're dry right now. The question is, how do things become active again as we head through today? We'll time it out with you with your First Alert 7-day forecast. That's coming up right after this.